Right now, the reality is we're not strong, we're profoundly unfair, and when it does work in our economy, it works for very few. So strong means growing. We need to grow the economy. It's the innovation economy, which includes very much at the center of that healthcare. So that poor kid doesn't have to go through and give his life as he gave it so tragically. But it's healthcare, it's technology, it's telecom, it's bio, it's pharma. We used to dominate that innovation economy. We've let a lot of that slip away. There's no reason whatsoever we can't dominate it again. And I think you're right, it's leadership. We don't have a lot of financial flexibility, but more importantly, we don't have leadership right now. This is a failure of leadership. And I want to raise my hand and say, you know what, I believe I've got the skills and what it takes to grow that economy again. Someone who understands how you knit together that innovation economy. The other big economy we talk a lot about is the infrastructure economy. Let's just take complete advantage of our God-given location, that 49 other states would die to swap in with us. So that's roads, bridges, rails, tunnels, ports, the green economy. And so there's no reason why, again, that's something we used to do really well. We used to dominate the innovation economy. I think you can make the argument that we were Silicon Valley before there was a Silicon Valley. You know, in infrastructure, we did the big things. We built the bridges and tunnels and roads and rail, and we've gotten away from all of that. We not only don't build them, we take money from them. You'd think if you're the fourth smallest state in the nation, geographically, which we are, and you're the densest state in the nation, which we are, and you sit next to the largest city, the largest market rather, in the world, which we do, you'd think if you messed everything else up, the one thing you'd get right would be commuter rail. Apparently not. That's one example of many failures of leadership. So let's grow the innovation economy, very much including healthcare. Let's grow the infrastructure economy again. I mentioned fairness. And a lot of engineers that we have. Almost 700 and something of them. I mentioned fairness. There's not one move on the board that makes us fair overnight, but wages, benefits, college affordability, equal pay for equal work. We have among the widest gender pay gaps in the country. Criminal justice reform, we have the widest white, non-white gap of persons incarcerated in America. Breaking the back of the foreclosed home crisis, we lead the nation in foreclosed homes. There's a whole series of steps that we think we can take that make us fair. So stronger and fairer, an economy that works for everybody. I lastly want to raise my hand and say, with your help, I'd like to be the governor of the state that we used to be. Meaning there was a list of words, that used to describe New Jersey almost uniquely. We grew, we were fair, we were respected and trusted, we did big things, we were known for smart government, we proved you could be responsible and progressive at the same time, we were inclusive in our leadership, we were civil in our leadership, we treated each other with respect even when we disagreed. If you stop right there, and I say this with a heavy heart, and I'm an optimist. I believe with the right leadership and the right priorities, we'll reclaim those words. But at the moment, not one single one of those words applies to New Jersey today. Not one of them describes our state. So with your help, I want to be the governor of the state that grows, that's fair, that's respected and trusted, that does big things and is known for smart government, that's responsible and proudly progressive at the same time, that's inclusive in our leadership. I want you gentlemen to hear this right now in front of this entire room. I'm making a commitment that I will stick to. I will not go to the beach by myself. Make sure you're all paying attention out there. That we will once again have leadership that's civil. It's not a question of will we disagree. We'll disagree. The question is what are we going to do when we disagree? And I think one more word that I'm increasingly drawn to, and that's compelling. Whether it's a young woman graduating from college looking to start her career, a young couple looking to start their family, a small or medium-sized business trying to figure out where to put their roots down, somebody who wants to study medicine or practice it, a senior, we have them all over the state, do I stay, do I go? That once again, New Jersey is a state where folks say, you gotta look at New Jersey. There's too much going on there. New Jersey has momentum. Something is happening. You'll make a mistake to not have New Jersey on your list. So it won't just be words that say fairer and stronger and work for all, but folks will actually see themselves in the progress we're making, whether it's their career or their family or their business or their retirement. Please follow us, if I may ask one favor at the end. We're at Murphy4NJ.com. I love these signs, by the way. Murphy4NJ.com. You've invested in us. You have every right to see how we're expending your precious resources, and I hope you'll agree with us that we're spending them wisely. But I also want to warn you, when you do follow us, you're going to see that we walk and chew gum at the same time. Meaning that we focus laser-like on getting this state fixed and on its feet. That's job number one. That's why we're here. It's some of the things I just talked about and a lot more. But we also can't ignore what's coming at us out of Washington, and we won't. So when there's a health care bill that had it become law, victim state number one would have been New Jersey, we will not be silent. When there's a tax plan that looks like it's written on the back of a cocktail napkin that 2 Republican congressmen yesterday in this state supported, and we would again be victim state number one in the country, we will not be silent. When you have the complete breakdown of moral authority, as we saw in Charlottesville, Virginia, a few weeks ago, we will not be silent. When you have the awful tragedy in Las Vegas, when there are sensible steps that we could take to make our communities safer, we will not be silent. When 22,000 dreamers in our state, who are every bit as American as my 4 kids, are being shown the door, we will not be silent. So I want to warn you ahead of time that we're going to be laser focused on getting this state fixed, but we also will stand up. And I think you're going to conclude, as we have, that governors will have never mattered more in this time, both in the mundane governing. Where's the governing happening? Because it certainly doesn't look like it's happening in Washington. It's going to be state and local. But also we're going to need a governor with a steel backbone who's prepared to stand up to all this stuff coming at us out of Washington and say, not in the state of New Jersey you will. So whether it's the stronger economy, the fairer economy, the economy that works for everybody and not just some, or that list of words that used to describe us and that with the right leadership will once again, or if you agree with me that we need governors with a steel backbone more than ever before, for whatever those reasons, any of them, all of them, your support tonight and over the next 32 days means more than you'll ever know. God bless you all, and thank you. Thank you, sir. Look at this suit, man. Come on. See you, Rob. Take care, buddy. See you, Nancy. Sorry to eat and run. Sure. See you, sir. Keep those engineers going, man. Hey, Mohammad. See you. You good? All right. Take care, folks. See you, folks.
Before we close out tonight, I'm going to bring Dr. Kim up from Sunrise. As Ambassador Murphy makes his way out, again, we want to thank everybody for coming out this evening, for donating to the Murphy for Governor campaign. And before everybody leaves, of course, we've got plenty of time, plenty of food. We want everybody to stay and enjoy the food. I'd just like to have Dr. Kim come and give an overview of what Sunrise, for those of you who don't know what Sunrise Clinical is, Sunrise Care is, and Sunrise Group is. I'm going to let Dr. Kim give an overview of that. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming here today. I want to let you know who we are. Mr. Mohammad is the CEO of 3 companies who are very related to each other. We have Sunrise Clinical Services in Irvington, New Jersey. It's a methadone clinic. It's medicated-assisted treatment. We have Sunrise Clinical Lab, which is, we have a lab to analyze any toxicology results. We also have Sunrise Care, which is a partial care program for mental health, those with mental health diagnoses, severely and persistently mentally ill, and management medications, psychotropic medications. Mr. Mohammad, I have been working with him for the last 2.5 years because I see him to be a very kind and compassionate human being, very sharp, very smart, but mostly very compassionate. And I wouldn't see myself working for any company unless I saw that the person cared about the community that he works with. I think everybody understands that the state of New Jersey, as well as the United States, is dealing with a heroin crisis. I specifically work as the executive director of the methadone clinic, Sunrise Clinical Services in Irvington. And I don't know if you know this, but in 2005, 80% of those who were addicted to opioid substances started with an addiction with hydrocodone, oxycodone, and other medications that were opioid-based. Today, in 2015, it's 30% of those who are addicted to opioids have started with heroin. Heroin is much more available today. It is cheaper today. Doctors are not prescribing these opioid medications as they used to. So because of the decrease in prescriptions, the heroin epidemic is increasing. This morning, I came back from a funeral from one of our patients who passed away. We have people pass away for overdose issues or complications of medical health issues in addition to the heroin use. At our clinic, I asked the staff, and I wanted to say hi to the Sunrise Clinical Services staff over there, and I want to let everybody know that we do the best we can to promote that heroin is not something that you or I or anyone else is immune to. We have a compassionate way of understanding that it is a disease, that people are not horrible people for being addicted to it. Within one hit, somebody can get addicted to heroin, and it is not their fault. That's the stance that we take at this methadone clinic. In fact, we go into more details and we ask all the staff and even the patients themselves that we don't want them to use the words dirty urine, clean urine, or drinking methadone, because if you're drinking methadone, it reminds me of people being an alcoholic. So all of the wording we have changed because we want to show respect to the individuals who are struggling with heroin use. I wanted to give you the broader picture how I see how important Ambassador Phil Murphy is to us for the state of New Jersey, that people in government, in political places can do so much. For example, in 2013, the law has started where people who are drug offenders, first-time drug offenders who are non-violent, are not mandated to go to jail. They're mandated to go to rehabilitation. So it's a very different way of seeing people right now and having a compassionate stance of how to treat the disease. So I just want to say that there's a shift from public safety issues and putting everyone in jail, because there's 2.4 million people in jails right now in the United States, and it's shifting to a public health issue. So if we have a compassion for public health and we have collaboration to prevent, we're going to appreciate the collaboration with the schools to prevent and educate. With healthcare, for example, Cigna has just mandated that their company is no longer going to approve of coverage for OxyContin, oxycodone is the same thing, to be covered by their insurance. So they're taking a stance in that. Law enforcement is very important. Paterson, New Jersey had 7,000 bags of heroin seized just about 2 weeks ago, and the drugs keep coming into our neighborhoods. Business is very important. Government, the last point I want to say is that we will appreciate Ambassador Murphy when he gets elected to support us and advocate for us for this heroin epidemic so that we can fight this and eradicate this horrible disease. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. That was very informative. Two other people I wanted to recognize before we wrap up. One is the chairman of the South Asian American Caucus who's here with us, and that's Satish Pundi. And then the other person is President Obama's former Assistant Secretary of State, who's now running for Congress in the 7th Congressional District, and that's Tom Malinowski. Raise your hand, Tom, so everyone knows who you are. This time last year, he was going toe-to-toe with dictators, and now he's gracing us with his presence. So thank you for being here. And with that, I'd like to wrap up, and everyone enjoy dinner, and thank you all for coming.